Hello, welcome back to the VDC space. So today we're going to be creating a basic Civil 3D platform. And the basis of today's tutorial is to cover feature lines and also the grading tool. And yeah, that's it. It's basically Earthworks. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy it. So before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, and share. And if you want more thorough and much more exciting projects, you can join my membership. And if you want the project files, you can also join my Patreon. You can get it from there. Now, without further ado, I think we can start with our tutorial. So first things first, we work with points or either surfaces. But in this instance, I'm going to use this triangle surface I got from a client as a basis of today's tutorial. So the basis of triangle surfaces is you have to create a surface from that in Civil 3D. It's basically data. They have X, Y, Z, and Z, and you have to triangulate and interpolate and then create a surface from that. So in order for you to do that, you're gonna go to surfaces under your tool space, right click and say create surface. I'm gonna say okay. Uh, Something's wrong. Let me just close this down. I'm gonna open it again. Okay, like I said, surfaces, you're gonna right click and say create surface and then say okay. Right, after this, it's gonna create a drop down. So you're gonna drop this down and then you're gonna expand this. So it's gonna give you different options under definitions, but the one we're gonna go with is the drawing objects. Right click and say add. And then after that, it's going to give you different options in terms of the object types. So we have the points, lines, blocks, text, 3D faces, and polyface. In this instance, we're going to use the 3D face and say OK. And then you're going to drag your mouse and then select the entire thing and press enter. And then it's going to triangulate and interpolate. And then you're going to close this down and then it's going to create your surface. So I like to use the Divotech template for my civil 3D models because it's a very much well refined template and very much South African standard. So I'm going to go back to my triangle surface, select the boundary, right click and say clipboard, copy. I'm going to open up this drawing, right click and say clipboard, paste to original coordinates, zoom and extend, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna drop the surface down and actually, yeah, I'm gonna right click on surface and say surface properties. And then I'm just gonna change the surface style to contours 2 by 10, border, apply and say, okay. Now our surface is very much created. So the next step is to apply some feature lines and then gradings after that. So for feature lines, they are basically 3D lines which contain X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z data. So we're gonna use them to as a basis of our platform. So I'm gonna go to feature line and say create feature lines, and then you have different options. So we're gonna create our own site in this instance. So I'm gonna drop down this arrow and say create new, and then I'm gonna name this platform, and then I'm gonna say okay, and then I'm gonna say okay. So after this, it's gonna give you an option to place your point. So I'm gonna place my first point there, and press enter. Second point there, press enter. Another point there, press enter. Another point there, and then press enter. And then after this, to close it down, you're gonna go down under these options, and then you're gonna say close, and then it's gonna automatically close down your platform or your site. So after this, to arrange your elevations, you're gonna select your feature line, go up and say elevation editor, and this is where you can arrange your feature lines. Okay, so after this, what you can do is I'm just gonna raise these points up above our natural ground surface. So I'm going to go to set increment, and then I'm going to set it to 10 meters and press enter. And then I'm just going to select all of these. And then if I press this arrow, they're going to go up uh, uh, by 10 meters. And then I'm going to say finish. So after this, we're going to apply the grading tool. So I'm going to go to grading. And then before we create our grading, we're going to create a grading group. So create grading group. So I'm going to name this platform. And then you can automatically assign a surface or create a surface and also assign the volume based surface. But we're not going to do that. So we're going to say okay. So after you create your grading group, you're going to go to grading again and say grading, creation tools. And then just like your handwriting, you're going to work from left to right, unless you're Leonardo da Vinci. But anyway, we're going to start right there, set the grading group and make sure the site name is the one you've created. So it's this one, and the grading group is the one you've created. So you're going to say okay. After this, you're going to say set the target surface, which is the NGL, this one. You're going to say okay. And then after that, we have the set grading layer. I think this one you can leave. And then after this one, you have these different options: grade to distance, elevation, relative elevation. But I'm going to use grade to surface. So after this, we're going to use this one to create a grading. So drop down your arrow and say create grading. After you select it, you're going to select your feature line. You have different options to create your grading within the bounds of your boundary or outside. So I'm going to select the outside, apply to entire length. You're going to say yes. The slope 1:2. I'm going to say yes, press enter. And for the cut and also for the fill 1:2, press enter. And it's going to give you this. So I'm going to press exit. So how you will see your fill, so your fill is going to very much increase when you increase the elevations of your points. So let me just show you an example. If I select my feature line and then go to elevation editor, and then if I select all of these points and then increase them by that increment of 10 meters, let's look at what happens. As you can see, the grading very much expands. Do you see? So I'm going to select my feature line again, elevation editor. I'm going to select all these points. I'm going to increase it by 10 again and say finish. And as you can see, the grading is going to increase. Perfect. So after this, we're going to create a fill within our platform. So this is very much our platform. So I'm going to say grading and say create grading infill. You're going to have to select the inside of your boundary or your platform and then press enter. So after that, to confirm that you have created your fill, you're going to select all of this, right click and say object viewer, and then your object viewer is going to pop up, and then can just navigate like this just to see how your platform looks. So this is very much your platform. There's your feature line right there. Based on the elevations that we have on the feature line editor, and then this is very much this is your grading basically. All right. So after this, to create a surface, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to let's see. I'm gonna select my feature line, actually my grading, and then if I go to grading group properties, I'm gonna say automatically create a surface, and then I'm gonna say okay, assign the base volume, and then I'm gonna use my NGL as my basis, apply, and then say okay, and then it's gonna create your surface like this. So if I select it and say object viewer, my object viewer is gonna pop up, and then it's gonna show my surface grading. So this is what we have. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to keep this one short and thorough, and yeah, I hope you guys have learned something. We're gonna take it much further as we go along, but I just wanted to cover the basis of creating surfaces from triangles and also using feature lines and also using the grading tool. And on the next tutorial, we're gonna calculate the cut and fill, and then we're gonna design. We're gonna establish the design surface against the natural ground surface. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. And I will definitely see you on the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and then join my membership for much more exciting content. And if you want the project files, you can just subscribe to my Patreon. Peace.